You are going to regret ignoring this video, and by the time you realize it, it'll be too late. Right now, as Bitcoin pulls back, we are seeing Solana memes bounce insanely hard. This exact moment, coins like Troll, House, and 𝗵𝗀𝗧 are ripping from tiny market caps. These aren't just random pumps, these are early signals of the next 1000x meta unfolding in real time. Today, I'll break down 14 explosive, high-performance Solana meme coins. I'm tracking the exact setups, levels, and narratives that could deliver life-changing gains. This window won't stay open forever, as you only get these chances once per cycle, and the final charts might be the most overlooked 1000x plays I've ever seen all year. Do me a favor, press that like button, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and let's get onto it. Alright my friends, exactly as we predicted, Launchcoin is bouncing off from our entry, okay? This is our entry. This is where you should have gone on Axiom. There's a link down below, limit orders and stack, okay? In this box, right between that 168, 145, okay? Just stack limit orders there. This coin is gonna bounce extremely hard. And let me tell you which other coins are also gonna bounce extremely hard, and you should be putting your Axiom limit orders right now. Dupe is another one. Once Launchcoin starts pumping, look at how bottom, look, this is the perfect entry. Look at how bottom this is. You're not gonna get many chances like this in the cycle, okay? BTC just pulled back and gave us access to entries on some of the best coins. It's at 15-16 million market cap. This thing can go back to 9 figures possibly. Look at how good this chart is. Whales are buying these coins, okay? They're buying Launchcoin and they're buying Dupe right now. Look at how good this is. This is the accumulation range, okay? You're not gonna get opportunities like these in the cycle again. So pay attention. The pullbacks are the moments where you need to pay the most attention. Dupe is looking beautiful. It's looking very good. Look, up 16%, that's nothing. Once BTC starts moving again, these coins will explode. Another one bouncing just as predicted, 𝗘𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗧. Look, it came into that bullish fair value gap as predicted. I literally drew this before the entire move started, and it's now bouncing hard. So I hope you entered some 𝗘𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗧 as I did, because I'm up on mine, and so I think it's gonna go higher. Now there's a chance it finds some resistance here between 6 and 5, but I think this is the next accumulation range where it could find some difficulty, maybe go a little bit sideways here, but it is bouncing hard, and I did tell you guys. On to the next, AWR. Look, the beauty also bounced super hard from the line. I told you guys it was on the line here. It looked like it was going to go down, and I said, hey guys, look at AWR, strong community. These are the coins when BTC starts to pull back, go into these bullish fair value gaps. Look, this was previous support here in February, previous support here in the 12th and 13th of February, then turned into resistance, and now turned into support again. Look, if this line was support hundreds of times before, it's probably going to be support again. Look, major bounce. Another one that is entering our zone, Moonpig. I told everyone when Moonpig was here, don't buy at 100 million, don't buy at 90, don't buy at 80, just wait. This thing is very likely going to go back to previous all-time highs. It's now at 36, and I think, look, my entry, my limit order is stacked down here, 20, 17, etc. But it could be a good buy here, to be completely honest, because it's right now very close to the previous all-time high. But still, I have my limit order stacked down here, and I'm just gonna wait. Let's see if it hits. The only reason why I think this is a good trade is because Mr. Win is all over the place. He's like the most famous person in crypto right now, and attention drives price. Attention drives narrative. So he has all the attention, so I think maybe this thing, if it pulls back a little bit deeper, I'll enter. I know the risks. This is a very risky trade, and I'll exit on a V-shaped type recovery. Then we have our beauty troll. Again, if you left your limit orders here, you would have gotten hit again. Look, people, this right here, this is a capitulation candle. Again, you're getting your entry again. Between 16 and between 13, this is where you reaccumulate heavily on troll. I told you guys to not sell here at 11, 12. We got a pump to basically 30 million market cap. We didn't hit the major resistance, but I do think we're going to hit it again. And this to me is going to be, this entire move down is going to be a higher low being formed. So here you have a second chance at grabbing a great meme coin at much lower prices. To me, it's looking like a buy zone right now. Then we have another one. This one is going to bounce extremely hard. It's house coin. Look, same thing. This was the buy zone. This was our entry. Then it came sideways. I told you guys, just be patient. And now it entered the buy zone again between 47 and 39. And I think now there's a good chance it's going to bounce from 47. I do think at 50 million market cap, I do think house coin here is a good buy. Yeah, I'm bullish on house. Look, it's green on the day. Chart's looking bullish. It's just a giant reaccumulation zone. It's still in a bullish fair value gap. So yeah, but I'm not going to buy this expecting it to be at all-time highs this week. It could be next week. It could be in a month. So you have to be patient, okay? Then we have another one that's looking very bullish that we have been mentioning. It's Prompt, still in the buy zone. It came and touched our 2.43 million entry. This is my entry. Look, this is where the whales are accumulating. Look at the chart. Look, bounce. Okay, whales are buying, and eventually it's going to bounce from a higher low. Is this the higher low where it's going to bounce? Let's wait and see. But I think this is going to be one of those explosive trades that can pump into all-time highs very fast. So I enter the Prompt position. On to the next, we have Labubu. Labubu hasn't entered yet my buy zone. I have been sadly unlucky on Labubu because I missed it just by an inch, and I do have my limit order set at 19 and 17. This is to me the perfect entry because this is where the previous all-time high was. This is where support held before the last explosive move, and so this is the bullish fair value gap where you want to enter, in my opinion, because these liquidity places are where usually price tends to be attracted to. Okay, the price always goes back into those liquidity zones, so this is the bullish fair value gap for you to enter on Labubu, in my opinion. Now there's a chance that it's not going to go that low and it's going to bounce from, for example, this zone, but that's not how I trade. Okay, I like buying at fair prices and I like buying at these obvious pullback zones. Then on to the next, we have 𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is testing our patience. Look, it's struggling to go into the bearish fair value gap. It's now bouncing back again, but I do think it's entering a buy zone. If you look at the trend line, it basically, this trend line got touched 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, and it's now going to go for the 4th time. Remember SSE, remember DRB, remember Dark, remember also 𝗘𝗫𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. 𝗘𝗫𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 touched the trend line like, I don't know, 6 times maybe. So sometimes you just gotta be patient. You need to let all the weak hands exit so that the price can do its explosive thing. Sometimes it is what it is. My target is still between 30 million and 25 million, 10x on 𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. So if you don't have any 𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, if you're watching the show and you want your entry, my friend, there's your entry on 𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. On to the next, useless. Useless is at a very dangerous level. Also very interesting. Look at the people who are pushing useless and compare it, for example, to the people who are pushing something like house. This entire move from basically 9 million to 120 million was almost only 𝗵𝗀𝗀 by himself. This thing here is being pushed by a bunch of these bone KOLs, a lot of them, and it's still struggling. So you need to understand the power that certain KOLs have. 𝗵𝗀𝗀 can literally pull something from below 10 million and set it to 100 million by himself. These bone KOLs, yeah, they get a lot of views, but they don't have the motion on Solana that 𝗵𝗀𝗀𝗏 has. Useless is struggling. That said, I think it's a good buy here because the last 3 times this line got touched, it bounced. So is it going to bounce on the 4th time? I think so, but I don't have as high expectations as I did on house. That's why when I was on house and I saw the people that were involved, people like Mirage, you know, people like Lexapro, these people I think are probably friends or are in group chats with 𝗵𝗀𝗀𝗏. These guys, I'm not so sure. So is this thing going to go to 100 mil market cap? I don't think so. Is it a good trade here? I think it is. Chart wise, it's telling me. But this said, if it comes to 12 million, if it comes to below 12 million, 11 million, exit your useless, because this is not as strong as a house coin. The concept is not as good, and the people pushing it don't have as much motion and strength on Solana as the people who were pushing house. So have all these things in mind. If it comes to 12 million, exit. That said, if you want to double your money, I do think this thing is going to go to 30 million and probably even come close to all-time highs. But I'm not looking to sell all-time highs on this. I'm looking to sell probably a 32 million market cap right here, right around here where we had the previous resistance on useless. I would say, again, 70% chance that it's going to bounce. That's my opinion. On to the next, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is going to give all the people a new entry. I think this is probably the bottom. I would say 60% chances this is the bottom. And then there's also a likelihood that's going to come close to that 348 million market cap line. This zone here, look, I demarcated on the chart, previous resistance, previous support. This line is extremely important. And the 653 million market cap line is also extremely important, especially for resistance points. So one can say that basically 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is looking bullish for a buy here. If you think Bitcoin is going to go to 200K, you don't think 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is going to do new all-time highs. It's going to go to 2.79 billion. This is my target for 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, by the way. The 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 I have, if I have to wait a year, I'll wait a year, but this is my target. This is where my fib lines were telling me 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is probably going to go once it makes a new all-time high. So these tiny movements in between these resistance support lines, to me, they don't matter. But if you're day trading this, I think 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is a good accumulation here all the way to 348 million market cap. Then we have our tiny market cap, very important coin called 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is still on an uptrend. It hasn't been broken, and I'm going to press on it just like I did on 𝗘𝗫𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 because many people watching this show made a ton of money on 𝗘𝗫𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. And I do think this one can be extremely explosive. And behind the scenes, it does look like there's a ton of stuff happening when it comes to 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. So I'm keeping an eye open, and if it comes a little bit closer to the line, I'll leave a limit order on Axiom stacked here at 1.87 probably, maybe a little bit higher, 1.90, just to scoop some more. But yeah, my main target for taking profit is that 1.6 fib line here, very close to 8 million market cap, and then I'll leave a moonbag like 20 to 30% because I think this thing can touch the top of the line here at 18 million market cap. But let's see what happens. On to the next, we have to talk about SPX because SPX is right now, together with Fartcoin, the main coins we have to talk about for risk. SPX is basically signaling all the normies, everyone outside of crypto, everyone watching on TikTok, on YouTube, etc., that meme coins are the main meta. Look, even on a BTC bounce, look at how good SPX is looking. It broke through this resistance and it's now going to go to all-time highs. And I think it's basically going to pull a Fartcoin, where Fartcoin went to that 1.5 billion market cap. I think we're going to see something similar. We're going to see a test of all-time highs. Then once all-time highs get tested, what I think is going to happen with SPX is it's going to pull back a little bit, this would be a good level, 1.2. This is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing this, all-time highs, then reaccumulation here, and then 2 billion market cap. That's what I'm seeing when it comes to SPX. Looking quite bullish. If you follow the show, I was telling everyone to buy this trend line here. Not the first touch, but the second touch. I charted this resistance as well, which then turned into support. I was like, buy here. This is a good buy zone. And you literally could have been up 2x on your money. And if you have deep liquidity, say you're trading with $1 million plus, you could have doubled your money here. So meme coins are the main meta. SPX is proving this. SPX, Altcoin, also going up means these tiny market caps we're talking about, once their liquidity starts shifting, will absolutely explode. Many of them will do something like 1000x. Altcoin is at a good buy level in my opinion because it's testing this previous resistance here, but I don't have any more Altcoin. My target was 1.5, so I don't have any more Altcoin. I was holding from the bottom here and I just kept selling. Yeah, so I think Altcoin is still the main risk, and once we see a break above that 1.5 billion market cap zone again, we're gonna see it shoot straight very close to probably all-time highs, as well as SPX. But there's a chance here that SPX flips Altcoin in terms of becoming number one. So let's see. I think SPX and Altcoin are both competing for the same attention and for the same buyers. And to be completely honest, there's a good chance we see a pull here on SPX now and a flip, because look at the liquidity, 20 million. This one has 17 million, and it's basically about to go into that Altcoin type zone. So these are the meme coin wars right now. Altcoin versus SPX. SPX is looking more bullish, looking like it's going to break all-time highs faster. Altcoin then will probably stop leading and it will become number two after SPX. But either way, SPX going into all-time highs, it's also bullish for Altcoin and for risk for everyone watching outside from crypto. Anyway, this was the show. If you've made it this far, you now have 14 of the most explosive Solana-based meme coins on your radar. All these tiny caps, they're all starting to bounce hard, every single one with a potential to 1000x. But here's the truth, without the right tools, you will still miss most of them. That's why I use Axiom to track wallets, wallet flow, filters. You can filter out all the rugs. You can get sniper entries on the coins that actually matter. And if you want deeper breakdowns, early calls, and access to my full Solana meme coin rotation, you can join my free trading group. No fluff, it's just going to be alpha. We're building it, we're hiring people, but you have to join through my Axiom link. Only my Axiom signees will join my group. Okay, see you tomorrow on the next one.